All this Extreme Festival action is proudly brought to you by Comcare Medical Scheme, Dunlop Tyres, Ferodo, the #1 in brakes, and Investchem. Welcome to the international world of motoring at Zwartkops just outside of Pretoria and the final round of the National Championship Extreme Festival. Championships are up for grabs here today, and a lot of them are poised on a knife edge with only a couple of points in it. And welcome to GTI as well, celebrating 40 years of the Volkswagen brand. We start things with the Investchem Formula 1600s. This championship is poised on the knife edge like you cannot believe, with only 1 point splitting the top two. GERARD is going to have to fight hard to take on Josh Leroux, but it'll be interesting to see who gets the front end by the time we get qualifying in the bag. Let's catch up with some of our contenders.
Andrew Schofield, it's been an interesting season for you guys, and once again, the most professional series, I think, in South Africa.
No, thank you very much. It's been a great year. We've been so competitive this year, so close with the racing. Today, I think it's a couple of tenths between sort of third all the way through to eighth or something. So, yeah, if you're not quite on it, then you find yourself down the grid a little bit. But, yeah, it's been so much fun and big improvements, and everyone's just improved throughout the year. So it's getting closer and closer to the racing.
GERARD, this is it, the final round, and it's coming down to the wire. Tell us about it.
Yeah, starting in P5 is not ideal, but I'm still here to fight. He's now 2 points ahead, and looking forward to the race.
Josh, a slim lead in the championship. It's coming down to the final wire. Nervous?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very nervous, but also very excited. Not the first time I've been in this close battle for a championship before, so nerves are better than what I expected they'd be. All I have to do now is just go win the first race, hopefully get fastest lap, do the same the second race, and then hopefully take the championship win.
That's how easy it sounds. Not always easy to do that, though. Josh Leroux is on pole position. Dolanchek alongside him. A great bit of run there from Troy, ahead of Alex Voss and Antoine Geldenhuys. We just heard from GERARD. He's starting from 5th alongside Nicholas Van Wielie. And in the Formula Ford Kents, it's Duncan Voss and Josh Kutzer for the first time in a Formula Ford up on the front row, ahead of Graham Hepburn, Alan Meyer, Van Wielie and Schultz. They come to the line now to take their positions. This is where things are going to get real. For the very first time this season, it's all done and dusted. There's 2 points in it going into this race. What is the plans for GERARD Geldenhuys to catch Josh Leroux, who starts from pole position? 4 cars up the road from him. Dolanchek's alongside him. We go on board with Josh Leroux as he gets off the line. He goes instantaneously across on Dolanchek to ensure that he gets the whole shot into turn 1, and that's exactly what he's done. He's not going to wait for anybody else to try and get around the outside of him or in the inside of him, heading into turn 2, and he's already pulled about 2 car lengths. Look at that. Good driving there from Antoine Geldenhuys, coming around the outside, trying to open up a little bit of a gap, but you can see Alex Voss is trying to hold that gap, and the 27 car at this stage is just on the inside of turn 3. We're on board with GERARD, trying to close him down. As they come out of turn 3, you can see GERARD Geldenhuys looking for an opportunity. If his brother gives it to him, Van Wielie's not going to give him an opportunity. As Van Wielie goes around his outside, he's demoted down 1 position. So GERARD Geldenhuys is not in the ideal place that he needs to be, that is for sure. And what a start there from Hepburn. Hepburn being attacked almost instantaneously, as you can see, from Duncan Voss. He's taken the lead of the Formula Ford Kents, but it's Kutzer who's into 3rd. 3 by 3, they go into turn 5. GERARD Geldenhuys fighting hard to try and find a way through there. He's got Schofield on his inside, he's got Jason Kutsia on his tail, and he's got Van Wielie ahead of him. Back on board with him as they go out of turn 6 into 7. Runs a little bit wide onto the rumbles there. That could cost him a little bit of time. As he comes down, you can see just how hard he's having to work here. This is the man who has to work the hardest to try and catch the front end. And look at the gap that Leroux's pulled on that first lap. Dolanchek's helping him out ever so slightly. He's holding the rest of that pack up. You can see Troy Dolanchek, after 2 rounds, incredible rounds in Cape Town, is on a big up here in terms of Formula 1600s. Certainly a man to watch out for in 2023, that is for sure. But at this stage, he's fighting for second. And it's Antoine Geldenhuys looking for a chance to get through on him. Here comes Voss, late on the brakes. Oh, Voss dives on the inside. He touches the back end of Dolanchek. He looks like he might have touched Antoine Geldenhuys. That's opened up the doors for GERARD. GERARD has dived through, and I think Alex Voss might have done some damage to that front wing of his as he clipped the inside there going into turn 2. Is it going to affect his ability to get in a straight line? Doesn't seem to be right now. He's looking to come straight back, but GERARD Geldenhuys gets past him. So Geldenhuys eventually secures that into turn 4, and he's now up into what is 4th place on track. That's also not going to be good enough. He's got to be in the lead. He has to win the race, and he has to try and get the fastest lap as well. As they come under braking, there is the damaged wing on Voss's car. You can see confirmation of that. Front left sticking straight up in the air. That's going to definitely affect his abilities around the track. Let's have a look at it from another point of view here. We go on board with Alex Voss into turn 2. He's late on the brakes. He's too late on the brakes. There's the tag. He just clips the back end of Dolanchek. Dolanchek very lucky to survive that. And then another tag with Antoine. This is GERARD's point of view going into the same incident into turn 2. There's the initial touch, the second touch, and Gerard Geldenhuys says thanks very much. I think he actually might have come together with Van Wheelie. Little wheel touch between the two of them coming through turn 2, and on the exit point, he eventually got through. Van Wheelie's now dropped behind Vos. Vos trying to keep off Van Wheelie, and looks like Schofield coming along for the ride as well. The Geldenhuys brothers working hard now. For the first time this season, I think there may be some team orders into play here. Antoine's going to try and help Gerard bridge the gap there to the man in second place, Troy Dolanchik. I don't know if they're going to have enough time in this race to try and catch the man out front, though. Look at the gap once again. Look at this. It's a huge advantage that Josh Leroux has over his closest rival in the championship, who sits in 4th at the moment. Coming out of G&H Transport corner. Schofield closing in. Kutsia's joined the party as well. Jason Kutsia having a great finish to the season. Definitely a man to watch out for as well in 2023. We've spoken about his prowess in this car. He's got better and better every single time he climbs behind the wheel. And certainly looking forward to another great epic battle in 2023 with that car. But the two Geldenhuys boys for Abacus Division Racing trying to close down on Dolanchik, who is now starting to pull away from them. Doesn't look like they've got an answer there to Troy Dolanchik. He wants second place. He's going to try and promote himself up a little bit higher up in the overall championship standings as well if he can, as we go onto the aerial material here from our drone. Brilliant stuff there to see it from a different angle heading into turn 4. Van Wheelie is putting huge pressure onto Vos. Looks like there's a chance here. Remember, Van Wheelie jumped into the new chassis in Cape Town, so he's eventually got to grips with it, and he now looks to go on the inside. Oh, there's a tag! I didn't think there's going to be enough room there, and there's damage to the front of that car, and now there's damage to the rear end of Vos's car as well. Van Wheelie with a late outbraking maneuver, didn't quite make it stick, and there's the results. Front left wheel completely damaged. He'll be pulling into pit lane. Antoine continues to lead over Gerard. I'm sure he's just trying to use the advantage that he's got with maybe a slightly quicker pace to bring Gerard up to the back end of Troy Dolanchik. Let's have a look at that, going up into turn 5 again. This is Vos's point of view. You can see there's the tag behind him. He had nowhere to go. He was turning into his normal position, and Alex is going to be unhappy about that. Gets the car going again. This is Van Wheelie's point of view. He's late on the brakes, maybe a little bit too late. As I said, just clipping that inside of Vos and putting him into the kitty litter. He tries to get back on track and then realizes that front left is completely toast. So he'll have to get back into race number 2 if they can get that sorted out. Here's the man who would be king, coming up on the back markers, slowly but surely closing in on some of the Formula Fords. Goes around the outside of Schultze and now into Kenwood for the last time. He'll be heading down the hill. It looks like he might have got the fastest lap as well. This could wrap things up here in this championship, depending on where Gerard finishes. I think Antoine might just give him some room to get through for 3rd. They may have to go to the final race. We'll have to wait and see. The checkered flag is out, though, and it's Leroux for the victory. He comes across the line, taking the win. In the background, Dolanchik will be exceptionally happy with that second place. And yes, Antoine did open up the door and allow Gerard to come through for 3rd place and finishes up in 4th behind his brother. The Ford Kents have been an amazing race. Super to see for the first time out there, and great to see a big battle between a youngster and an old man. Duncan Foss there in 9th place, beating out Josh Kutzer to the line for the Formula Ford Kents. Here's the results. Leroux, Dolanchik, Geldenhuys and Geldenhuys ahead of Schofield for your top 5. Let's catch up now with Gerard.
The race went well. I had a poor start in the beginning, falling down to P6. Luckily, through mistakes of other people, I was easily able to pip them off. And then at the end, finished P3. I'm very happy because P3 still means that I'm in the running for the championship. Although it is far, but it's still possible.
Welcome back to Zwartkops and the final round of the National Extreme Festivals. Now, I can tell you something, we're in for an epic finish to this Formula Ford and Formula 1600s. It's been a great battle to see youngsters coming through the field and taking on the best of the best in both of the categories. But it's now time to wrap it all up. And Josh Leroux is going to basically just go out there and finish up the race. If he does that, the championship is all his. Great to see a nice field of Formula Fords as well, with Ron Van Wheelie fighting it out there with Schultze. And of course, the first time out for Josh Kutzer. Lights on and we're about to go racing again. Ooh, little jump start in the back there from Paul Schultz, I think. But as they head down towards turn 1, once again, it's Josh Leroux cutting across the rest of the field, not giving anybody an opportunity to squeeze him out. Although Dolanchik got a slightly better start and puts him under a little bit more pressure than what he was in the first heat. Around the outside, this is Antoine's point of view. He has got Foss on his... Oh, and Alex Foss and him nearly come together. Foss runs wide, Antoine to get out of shape there and get completely out of the way. And that's opened up the door for Schofield. And there's problems. Someone has got a problem right in the middle of the pack there. I think it might be Dolanchik. It is. Dolanchik's got some major issues heading down into turn 3. So we got Gerard Geldenhuys leading out on Josh Leroux. That is exactly where Gerard needs to be. And what a start there. Duncan Foss hangs on ahead of Hepburn, and then it's Josh Kutzer. And we got, by the looks of things, that is Schultz just ahead there of Ron Van Wheelie. Great start there from Paul Schultz and Van Wheelie in the Formula Fords. The 1600s are going at it. Here is Schofield into third place, and he's not going to be worried about the championship battle out front. He wants that final blood of the season, and that's exactly what he's trying hard for here. But he's got two very, very hot contenders ahead of him, and both of them looking for that title. 200,000 rand up for grabs there, and that is Troy Donishek climbing out, and not the way he wanted to finish his season. That is for sure. He was looks like he might have had a little bit of a clip there between one or two of the cars as they went through, but Donishek is out of this one and will not be finishing up his season on track. He's parked on the sideline watching what happens here between Gerard Geldenhuys, Josh Leroux, Schofield and Antoine. They're flying through turn 3. Have a look at this one more time here from the replay from Donishek's point of view. He comes out of turn 2. Actually might be in the front end of the field. He is. He's side by side, and I think he tags. Yes, he tags Josh Leroux. That's what opened up the opportunity for Leroux to be overtaken by Gerard Geldenhuys. This is Alex Voss's point of view. Watch for it as they go along that little short straightaway. Yes, just a little tag there between Leroux and Donishek. And Donishek, he gets sent on the sideline. Leroux survives. Very fortunate to survive. The championship's still up for grabs here between these guys as they go into it. And this is now Antoine Geldenhuys applying the pressure onto the back end of Schofield, looking for that third place. Looking for third place in the championship as well will be Antoine Geldenhuys. Be great to see the Abacus Divisions boys fighting so hard for possibly 2 and 3 in the championship. If it stays as it is right now, Leroux's got it. Van Wheelie's got that car sorted out. He's got Jason Kutsia on his tail as they come out of G&H Transport Corner. Both of them trying to close things down there on Monkonkwana. Didn't see much of Sia in the first heat, but he's certainly into the fight at the front end here for the second one. Leroux once again under braking. Sitting in second place behind Gerard Geldenhuys is all he really needs to do. And with that first victory and the fastest lap, it's going to be a tough ask there for Gerard Geldenhuys. He's going to push as hard as he can, though. The race is not over for this championship yet until that checkered flag comes out. The race for third place is up for grabs, that's for sure. Antoine Geldenhuys putting a little bit more pressure onto the back end now of Andrew Schofield. Schofield soaking it up, but not going to be an easy day in the saddle. This is Leroux's point of view, coming up onto the braking point, up at the top of turn 5. And coming up onto his arch rival in this championship all season long. They've had some great dices on track. They've had some epic ones as well, where they've each taken double victories at certain circuits around the country. And it's now down to the wire. This is where it's all going to count. Gerard Geldenhuys has done everything he can to try and keep out Josh Leroux, but Leroux is sitting pretty right now in that second spot. They come down the hill. Siyabonga Monkonkwana also under a bit more pressure from Van Wheelie, who's closed that gap down ever so slightly. As they're getting into the closing stages, you can see, pushing hard. Looks like somebody ran a little bit wide. They're putting a wheel on the dirt. Was that Schofield possibly? Schofield running a little bit wide again out of turn 1. So yeah, I think it might have been Schofield who just ran a little bit wide coming out of turn 8 G&H Transport Corner. He managed to stay on track though and ahead of Antoine Geldenhuys. Only just. Geldenhuys will probably see that, have a little bit of a taste of that blood in the water. Here comes Voss. Duncan Voss further back in the Formula Fords, and he's on the inside of Josh Kutsa, first time out in a Formula Ford, and he's fighting with a man who's done oodles of time around this circuit and plenty of experience when it comes to any form of motorsport in the hands there of Duncan Voss, but they're not anywhere near Graham Hepburn. Look at the gap that Hepburn's pulled out over these two, fighting hard. So slightly elder statesman taking on the youngster, coming out of karting, first time into a single-seater, and he's just loving life in that little Formula Ford. It's usually the car that we'd see fighting in the hands of Rick Morris, but now this time out he's been given an opportunity by Ian Schofield and the team to have a go, and he's not doing a bad job of it with the attack coming from Voss for second place. I don't know if they got enough time to try and close that gap down on Hepburn. He's pulled away. He had some issues on Friday, which they seem to have got sorted out now to perfection. And yeah, it looks like he's going to be hanging in there in the Qualichem car to try and take the victory with 3 to go. Back to the lead. Gerard Geldenhuys pulling slightly away now from Josh Leroux. Maybe he's trying to make Leroux attack him, try and force him into a mistake. It's the only thing he can do right now. He's got to try and push it as hard as he can to ensure that Leroux can maybe make a mistake somewhere on track. That's the only way Gerard Geldenhuys could possibly steal the victory for the overall championship. They're not going to steal the victory away from him now as he comes across the line, unless he makes a mistake like that. Wasn't really a mistake, just showboating across the line with Gerard Geldenhuys taking the win. But the championship goes to Josh Leroux, and he's an ecstatic man. Josh Kutsia, he's still in it, and I can tell you he's still having a little bit of fun as well. Kutsia going at it big time with Voss. They're not going to catch the back end of Hepburn. Hepburn's going to finish up, relatively in a comfortable position there for first place in the Formula Fords. But Josh Kutsia's going to get second. And watch out for that man next year in a single-seater. Great opportunity there for the youngster, fighting hard with Duncan Voss as they cross the line for the final time. Gerard Geldenhuys takes the final victory. Leroux takes second place and the championship, ahead of Andrew Schofield, Siyabonga Monkonkwana and Van Wheelie. And as I said, it's Hepburn, Kutsia and Voss, your top 3 in the Kens. And there's your champion, Josh Leroux.
First in the championship, it feels amazing. It definitely hasn't settled in yet, so I'm very, very happy with my result. We've worked hard this year for it. It's been an emotional roller coaster, and yeah, just a big thanks to everyone who's been behind me and been supporting me.
Confirmation of that championship standing, Josh Leroux, GERARD Geldenhuys and Troy Dolanchek moving himself into third place with a fantastic finish to the season. Look out for those boys fighting in 2023.